Hey Clashers, rank 1 in Germany right now is using Super Archer Blimp with the Lalo, with the Electro Titan in there as well in the mix. And in today's video I will show you exactly how you can still play the Super Archer Blimp even if you're in higher legend and having to face a ton of box bases. What are his secrets? How is he approaching those box bases? What is the thought process behind all of that? Share in this video. Let's get into it. And there are some offers in the shop, and if you would like to support me and like what I'm doing on this channel, feel free to use the content creator code with the code iTzu. Really appreciate the support, it helps a ton, and thank you so much for that. But now let's dive into the attacks and let's see how Mark is approaching all of those different type of bases. And let's start things off versus a box base. One of the main reasons why I, for example, stepped away from the Super Archer Blimp, because to me it was just too annoying to attack, too complicated to attack, I guess, and not the best feeling attacking those bases. So what is he doing? The first thing what he does is he is really strategic with the approach with his Lava Hound. So he sees that, okay, if he plays the Lava Hound like this, he can take down the air defense, the Lava Hound is going to fly across, trigger some traps, and then, as he knows, okay, there can't be any tornado trap, he's just going to fly in with the Blimp. He's opening that Blimp really early and on the corner of the poison spell on defense. The reason why he does that is he's going to clone away from the poison. You can see the other remaining Super Archers, they went down in the poison. But that's fine. He's having the double clone combination, which means he can generate a lot of new archers and can actually overcome the defending poison with that, because he's cloning out of the poison, which means the generated archers are not having the poison effect on them, are not going down whatsoever, and he's having a great day with the Super Archer Blimp on offense. The next thing is, why is he having so much success? The easy answer as well is because he's playing Lalo instead of the Titans. When Tunnel 15 was launched, the Super Archer Blimp Electro Titan combination was super popular. One of the main reasons why it was so popular was actually because of the Royal Ghost. The Royal Ghost was forcing people to have core town hall bases, which were typically kind of open bases. So those Titans were able to run around, access everything, and it was an easy day. But nowadays, more bases are having closed compartments. You're facing box bases, which are really annoying to get through, especially if you have no spells whatsoever. And with that being said, Electro Titans are forcing a lot of times just time fells. That was their big problem, because their damage versus walls is pretty bad. But if you compare that now with the Lalo, they just don't care about walls. They will just fly over it, and then you can be super flexible with your approaches. The big problem is in Legends that every base can be different, and you need to make the best out of it with your adapting style skills on offense, which is sometimes a bit tricky. Sometimes you cannot adapt a lot, and sometimes this is making a strategy or breaking a strategy in Legend League. With this strategy, you're always forced to play a Blimp, or at least a Siege, which is delivering your Super Archers into the base. So you're kind of limited in your options. But what we can see already on this attack, which we just have seen, is that Mark is just switching away from the classic approach where you're using the Warden with your Lalo. Instead, he uses it with Ground, which is again nice adjustments and getting him a nice early 3-star. And obviously he's attacking some of those top players as well, as for example Klaus is next on the menu with one of those box bases. But again, those bases are typically quite easy to attack with those Super Archer Blimps. Still, I want to highlight a couple of things which Mark is doing, which you can for sure copy if you're using this strategy as well, because it is quite important. The first thing what he does is, again, he's playing a Hound with some loons behind. And you can see already he's not playing the Blimp right away. The reason for that is because there could be the tornado trap, which is really a big problem then for the Blimp, not really getting towards the location where the Blimp is supposed to go. So what he does instead, he is flying with the Hound, letting the Hound pop, and the spread of those lava pups would have triggered a possible tornado trap. And with that being said, that Blimp would have not reached the target. Instead, he's doing this trick, delaying things a little bit, delaying that Blimp, and now getting closer to the core and taking down everything. Like, this is how this works on those core bases. Those bases have no chance, especially if they're running Rage Towers. So yes, even though right now the Super Archer Blimp is not as meta as some of the other strategies out there, you can make good work of that. Like I said, Mark right now is really high up in Legends, and one of the reasons as well why he is he's not defending this blimp. You can see there was a double rage tower. A couple of months back, no one would have ever thought, would have even considered using a double rage tower onto a ring base, because you would have been raged out left and right versus those blimps. But nowadays, you don't have to defend that anymore, because not that many people in higher trophies are actually using Super Archer blimps. So every base is, for obvious reasons, defending specific attacks. And a Super Archer blimp was for sure not on the menu of the bases which Klaus wanted to defend with this base. And Mark is just making good work of that, really just pushing in with his Lalo on the left side. This time around, he's using the Air Warden though, okay? So again, he's adjusting the things a little bit and making sure that he's always shooting the right way. At the same time, with having such a strategic and surgical approach with this Lalo attack, you can always adapt on the fly, which is a big difference if you compare the Super Archer Blimp Lalo to any of the other Super Archer Blimps. Super Archer Electro Titan, Super Archer Dragon Rider attacks. All of those attack strategies are kinda one-sided, because as soon as you're done with your Super Archer Blimp, well, you just spam in the other troops. That's a little bit different with this approach, and that's why I think it works just so much better than the other Super Archer Blimp strategies. With that being said, I think the ring bases are not as interesting, because I think all of you know how to play a Super Archer Blimp versus a ring base, okay? Instead, let's take another look at a box base again. We have the poison tower right behind the town hall, but what does he do on this one? He is flying in with the blimp, and take a look at the range. He is opening the blimp within the range of the poison tower, but the poison is only getting shot at troops if that troop or that siege or whatever is being in the range of the poison tower for 1.2 seconds. So you can fly into the range of the poison tower if you are below that 1.2 seconds. If you're opening the blimp right after and turning your troops invisible, the poison tower is never going to go off versus your troops. And with that being said, you can again see this base is just getting wrecked. Those are like the small things which you need to know if you want to still succeed with the Super Archer blimp versus some of those annoying box bases, because those small things can make or break your attack and really give you a nice advantage over base builders who might not even know how to defend this strategy because they have never played it. This is such an important thing, because Super Archer blimp, even though it's somewhat repetitive, there's still some skill involved in actually pulling this off and making sure that you know the limits of your blimp and know what angles you can take and what are the risks you have to take, kinda, and where you have to send a hound and all of those good things. So what Mark does is really nice, getting the tunnel compartment and now playing the queen and everything into the opposite side. Why is he doing that? Well, he has the monolith, 2 ground expos on this side, so for obvious reasons, he's deciding to use the heroes then on the other side to get more value over there. In addition, he can get the queen, for example, on this side, which is another high value target. Now again with the Lalo, but since his heroes on the left side do not need that much power, what he can now do instead is he can now send the Warden again with the Lalo, and because you have this surgical approach, it is not as important with the power on the back end now, and you can easily push through. Again, another thing is with the Royal Champion. Yes, you can now sometimes support with the Royal Champ your other heroes, your king and your queen, for example, but sometimes you can just make sure that your Lalo is a bit stronger as well. That's what he does on this one. He knows that on the left side, yes, his heroes will pick off some buildings, but at the same time, the raw power which he needs is on the Lalo side. That's why he adds the Royal Champ, the Warden, everything in there. And being that flexible, this makes this strategy with the Super Archer blimp just way above every other single Super Archer blimp variation out there. If you play Super Archer blimp, I can highly recommend you play Lalo. You don't need to be the craziest Lalo attacker. You have just seen Mark do those attacks without, and that's his own words, without being the best Lalo attacker. The majority of things you have to do, or like the major thing you have to do with this strategy, is to pull off the blimp, and then after that decide where you put your heroes and where you put the Lalo, and that's it. Then have those flex decisions like where put the ward in, where put the royal champ. But as soon as you figure that out, like that is the decision making, not the mechanical skill to pull off a Lalo attack. So as soon as you can learn that, and that is somewhat easy because again, like on one side you have ground exposed on the monolith, on the other side you don't have that and can pick off even another air hero. And then you have to decide, okay, where to put the ward and where to put the royal champ. That's pretty much it. So I hope this video was successful in helping you to learn and understand this strategy a bit better. Huge shout out goes to Morg for actually sharing those attacks. Thank you so much for that. And as always, if you want to copy this strategy, the strategy link is down below in the description. Thank you so much. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.